So, have you ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of a bustling city?
Yeah,
The horror at Redhook really takes that idea and runs with it, doesn't it?
absolutely. It's like Lovecraft peels back the layers to reveal something truly unsettling.
Exactly. The story follows Detective Thomas Malone, who becomes psychologically scarred after investigating bizarre happenings in Redhook, Brooklyn.
Right. And Redhook itself almost becomes a character in the story, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
The way Lovecraft describes the neighborhood, with its labyrinthine streets and ominous atmosphere, it's like he's painting a picture of urban decay hiding eldritch secrets.
it's fascinating how the setting amplifies the horror.
Exactly.
Do you think the urban environment contributes to Malone's unraveling sanity?
I think it does. The oppressive atmosphere of Redhook, combined with the sinister activities he uncovers, pushes him over the edge. It's like the city is consuming him.
Kind of like an urban jungle, but with supernatural elements lurking in the shadows.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
And then there's Robert Sidum, the reclusive scholar who gets entangled with dark forces.
His transformation is really intriguing. He
Right.
goes from being a hermit to suddenly rejuvenated and social. What did you make of that?
Well, it's like he made some unholy pact or discovered forbidden knowledge.
Exactly.
His change mirrors the classic trope of someone gaining power at a terrible cost.
But do you think Lovecraft is suggesting that such knowledge is inherently corrupting?
I believe so. In many
Yeah.
of his works, delving too deep into the unknown leads to madness or worse. It's a recurring theme that warns against overreaching.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of themes, what do you think about the portrayal of the occult rituals in the story?
They're genuinely haunting.
Absolutely.
The rituals add a layer of dread, hinting at forces beyond human comprehension. It's like they're tapping into something primordial.
And the way Malone experiences those otherworldly visions, it's chilling.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Especially the part where he witnesses the subterranean horrors beneath Redhook. It's like descending into a personal hell.
I got goosebumps reading that section.
Me too.
Do you think those visions were real or a product of his traumatized mind?
That's an interesting question. Lovecraft often blurs the line between reality and madness. I think it's intentionally ambiguous, leaving it up to the reader to decide.
I can see that. But it's kind of suggestive that the supernatural is indeed real in the story's universe.
True, and that adds to the overall sense of cosmic horror.
Exactly.
The idea that there are forces at work completely indifferent to humanity.
It's humbling in a terrifying sort of way.
Absolutely. And let's
Yeah.
not forget the ending, where the mysterious collapse of buildings wipes out the cultists.
That was sudden. Do you
It
think
was.
it was divine intervention or just a coincidence?
I think Lovecraft leaves it open to interpretation. Perhaps it's the universe correcting itself, or maybe just the inevitable result of tampering with forbidden powers.
Either way, Malone is left deeply scarred by the experience.
Yes, and that highlights another theme, the lasting impact of encountering the incomprehensible.
Right.
It's not something one simply walks away from unscathed.
It's interesting how Lovecraft's characters often face such existential dread.
Exactly. They're
Yeah.
confronted with the insignificance of humanity in the vast cosmos, which is a core element of his cosmic horror.
But don't you think sometimes the stories can be, overly despairing?
Perhaps, but I think that's part of their appeal.
How so?
They challenge us to think about our place in the universe, even if it's uncomfortable.
I guess you're right. There's a certain value in that perspective.
Definitely. And it sparks discussions like this one.
Haha, can't argue with that.
So, to wrap it up, the horror at Redhook encapsulates Lovecraft's themes of hidden horrors and the unknown lurking beneath everyday life. It's
Absolutely.
a compelling read that leaves a lingering sense of unease.
Agreed. It's the kind of story that stays with you long after you've finished it.
Well, I'm glad we got to dive into it together. Can't
Me
wait
too.
for our next discussion.
Same here. Until next time.